these two icons right here, baby, these were the blueprint for a baddie. Bratz and MyScene. This generation will never know what it was like coming up in the age where toys were at their peak.
Their peak. I'm talking a time where games were gaming like never before. Like you really played with your shit. Like if you had a bop it, you was bopping it. You was bopping that thing. Like if you had a toy, you had probably the best toy of whatever brand, Hasbro, Mattel. If you are one of those girls where you love just looking at like bad bitches and you like aspire to be a bad bitch because you are just engulfed with bad bitchery, MyScene and Bratz, they really did it for you. Like, I will never forget the Christmas where my grandparents surprised me with my very first Bratz. Imagine my little gay heart seeing Dylan under the Christmas tree with that green plaid shirt, that jersey, those jeans. Like, imagine my little gay heart, y'all don't understand, having that Bratz doll and realizing that I had entered into a world where I was really about to just honestly activate the butch queen in me. At the time, I didn't know what it was, didn't really know what the name of it was, but, you know, I was always very active. I loved to just be very outside. I was raised in the country, so it was very, like, normal for me to just, kind of be athletic in a sense. Even if I didn't really do any sports. I never really had Barbie growing up. Like, my sisters had Barbies, but even that, it was just like they were kind of, no shade. Barbie just seemed just so put together. Like she just had no imperfections, and that's cute. But like wait a minute, girl, what's your tea? Like Bratz gave that, MyScene gave that. I ain't never seen dolls look like that. Like bitch, and honestly, I don't even blame my mama for not wanting me to have it. Like I don't. She snatched it out of my hands quick. She said, "You will not," because she knew if I owned that at that age, it would have been a wrap. Imagine that. Bratz came in with their big ass feet and had their heels on Mattel's fucking neck. Gag. So just so we're all keeping up, I have a definitive timeline of all the events that made up this incredible, iconic feud between these two major doll lines. So let's just go ahead and just get into 2001. So here we see the Bratz. They made their big debut by MGA Entertainment. And of course, it was something new on the scene. So people weren't used to this, these unique face sculpts, these diverse characters. And of course, the fact that they pretty much wore what was trending at the time. Bratz, they were unconventional. Nothing about them made sense, which made them even more intriguing is that you had Barbie, who represented this standard of American beauty, and then you had Bratz. They had all the attitude. They were like that girl. Like they represented the boldest version of whoever you wanted to be. Like they just had all this oomph to them. So it was kind of like a doll, but with a doll with an attitude. So it was really, really cool to kind of see them hop on. I honestly was more into the artwork versus the actual doll line as a kid because I love to sketch. So I got my hands on as much of their artwork as possible. I wasn't really permitted to have any of the dolls other than one of the guy dolls, which I was gifted for Christmas, a Dylan. So outside of that, that was pretty much my only actual tangible connection to them as a kid. You have got to understand 2002 was a very vital year in this whole timeline, because what happened here was Mattel released, y'all, a year later after Bratz had just knocked down Barbie's Dream House and made their way in.
Mattel released the MyScene dolls. And these dolls, when I say they gagged not only the Bratz, they gagged everyone because they pretty much ripped off Bratz. The only difference between MyScene and Bratz is that MyScene, they basically had the body of a Barbie, but they had the face sculpt of a Brat. So they were more anatomically correct. They really, honestly, were some of the most striking looking dolls I think I've ever laid eyes on. To this day, I can honestly say I have never seen a doll more gorgeous than a MyScene. And that's because MyScene, they already had the essence of a Barbie, which was pretty much that perfect standard, but they leveled it up and made Barbie spicy. It was a gag because not only did they come out a year after Bratz, they had their own spin on Bratz, which made it even more unique because although they immediately were deemed as a ripoff of Bratz, they quickly made a name for themselves. Like MyScene, yes, they will always be known as a competitor to Bratz, but they truly stood on their own because the dolls dolled. Like these dolls dolled like any doll you have ever known that can doll. Like the outfits were just the quality, bro. They had endorsements with Skechers, Levi's, Sephora. Like they had huge big brand endorsements, which really helped fuel them even more and really helped them push Bratz out of the game ultimately. Like they just had it. They showed up with it and they had it. So it really made it difficult if you were a fan of Bratz at the time to really deny just how stunning and the quality of these dolls. I do have officially the 2002 Barbie from the original line of MyScene. So she is one of my prized possessions in my collection. So you already have Bratz with this unconventional look, and then you also have MyScene, who to me, they kind of had more of an older aura to them. Those webisodes were just chef's kiss. Like whoever curated those episodes, I just want to let you know that was one of my favorite pastimes as a kid, is keeping up with what was going on between Madison, Kennedy, Delancey. No, and I love the names. Like they had great names too. Sure, Bratz kind of just kept a nice lineup. With MyScene, it started to get a little confusing because you had Barbie, Madison, and Noli, and then we suddenly got Delancey and Kennedy who looked like Barbie, but they just basically looked like alt versions of her. So that started to get a little weird. And I also didn't like the fact that there wasn't enough chocolate for me in the MyScene gang. Madison only gave so much, and it was only so much you could do because she just looked like Vanessa Williams. And I feel like there was just so much more that they could have done as far as representation of different shades. MyScene had really good lines, Gemini and Jamaica, the bling line, the masquerade line, bro. I wanted that whole line so bad. Like I wanted that whole line, but I knew it wasn't the easiest thing to do to ask your parents for about $25 for a toy, especially if you wanted a MyScene. It wasn't the easiest, y'all. Trust me. I tried several times and it just never worked. So kudos to anyone that was able to get their hands on all of the lines. If Bratz had a diamond line, MyScene had a diamond line, the bling line. And it was like every line was eating. It was like they were going bar for bar. And you just could not pick who was the baddest. So this went on for a couple of years. We had 2004. MyScene was trying to introduce more face molds and more face sculpts. So that's when we saw them going away from that kind of like cutesy face that they debuted with to that more sultry face. Like they like, bitch, you went and got some work done. I don't know what you got done, but I know you got something done. Dr. Miami had his hand on the MyScene faces. He definitely did. New face molds come out. The girls go from cute to sultry. Around this time, the line has, like I said, they going bar for bar, diamond line, bling line, winter line, spring break line, Jamaica line. Like they going movies after, movies. I want to say Bratz was eating with the movies a bit more than MyScene. MyScene just kind of had the internet on lock because that website, I stayed logged in on that thing. I stayed logged in, y'all.
doing nails. I was giving petties, manis, doing hair. I was a licensed beautician by the age of 13. Damn near. I was in the MyScene School of Beauty, baby. And I was going through that thing with flying colors because I was eating. Ooh, I was eating and tearing that DSL internet up. So 2008 was when legal matters kind of stepped in, and Mattel ended up winning an actual case against MGA. And this was based off of claiming trade secret misappropriation by an actual employee who used to work there and later would go on to work on the Bratz, which they actually had created Bratz and the idea of it while they worked with Mattel, which I think helped them win the case, is the fact that Bratz was ultimately deemed a property of Mattel. So 2010, I mean, damn, y'all, they had to pause the damn Bratz. Like, God, dog, 2010, MJ had to kind of, put them on pause, and we had the Bratz for a while, and then 2013, my girls came back. And they tried to do a little something. They low key tried to come back and be what the MyScene was to them. So they decided to give the girls taller bodies, kind of make them look a little bit more, conventional. And they had more of a conservative look to it, which really didn't go well with original fans of the line. And of course, I know they tried to appeal to the new age of kids, and of course they wanted to appease the parents who didn't think they were appropriate, but it just didn't really work. It didn't. So they just kept trying, and they relaunched again in 2015, and we don't talk about that launch because it just was atrocious. I don't even know what that was. That line should just never be discussed in the light of day. Never. 2016, damn, they were discontinued again due to poor sales. Makes sense because, I mean, at this time, I want to say dolls kind of were dying down. No one's really had that moment. Like, Bratz and MyScene really represent the last bad girl moment that we ever experienced in just the history of toys. The feud made everything even better. The girls were fighting, and they looked good while doing it. Like, it was period poo. If you weren't a Bratz girl, you were a MyScene girl. And if you weren't a MyScene girl, you were a Bratz girl, or you were both. And if you that girl today, you owe it all to these bitches. We owe it all to these bitches because they really taught us how to be a bad bitch. Like, they really taught us how to get shit done. Like, no one understands, but if you had a Bratz or a MyScene, they ultimately changed the trajectory of your entire life. And the reason why you are that girl today is because of them. No tea, no shade. No tea, no shade. Right now, I feel like we are in a time where nostalgia is still running high. Bratz has been flourishing for a little minute, so they got the media side on lock. Now, I want to say, if MyScene really want to do it, they should come back with those webisodes. If you remember those webisodes, you will know that was the tea. Like, baby, when I say the episode where I believe old girl lost her phone, I was like, is she going to get it back? They need to do a live action of Bratz, kind of in the style of what they did with Barbie. But honestly, I don't even want to see that. I would love to see MyScene because them bitches, they were bad. They were bad. Like, I'm talking, imagine the baddest bitch you can think of. That times 1,000. That's what a MyScene looked like. And now that I'm really looking back, these dolls are really not appropriate. Bratz, honestly, they seem a tad bit more appropriate to me. But when you really look at those MyScenes, they did not give no doll. That was nothing that your child should have been playing with. And I think that's also what makes it even funnier, is the fact that Bratz came and then kind of essentially kicked Barbie off the pedestal, and then MyScene came right around as like a response. It's like, damn, like, y'all had this in the works the moment y'all even found out old boy had even had probably sketches of the Bratz. And I was just so thankful to my grandparents for just bestowing that gift upon me, because it meant so much in my little gay little heart to have that Bratz. Like, it was everything. And Bratz ultimately shaped my personality as far as being, the butch queen that I own today. And I'm just so glad of that. Like, Bratz boys weren't really butch, but they had an essence of butch to them. Like, they, as much as they were manly, it was always like they just had a little bit of, like, tea. Like, sure, they were supposed to be dating, one of the girls, but it was like, were y'all dating or were you just one of her good girlfriends? Let me know, what were you, Team MyScene, Team Bratz, Team Both, whatever it was. I already know that you are the baddest bitch in the room today. That's without question. Because without them, would you really be the baddest in the room? Would you? I don't know. I know I wouldn't. So hey, here's to that. Till next time, continue to be a bad bitch wherever you are and whoever you are. We out. Peace.